All right, I want to share this dream experience that I had. I don't know if the lighting is good. I think it'll do. There's so much I want to say, and I'll try to get it out as quick as I can. Number one, I've been watching a lot of Jesus, a lot of divine truth videos, and I think that I rely on him a lot, and I've been struggling with that. Like, whatever he says, I'll do, as far as like I'll wait to hear something that he said before I'll do it, and to understand to know if it's loving or not. So one of his audience members asked a question about pain, and he said before physical pain isn't really that important, but also that you should go into your physical pain to feel your emotional pain. The emotional pain is the most important, but when an audience member asked him about physical pain, he responded that go get deep tissue massage because they'll put pressure on the pain points in your body, and I can already feel like this is gonna take so long to explain, but that it's very effective. So I thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do deep tissue massage. I'm gonna really get into it. I'm gonna try and find somebody and just like bawl my eyes out in the session and like curse and flame and get wherever I gotta go, shake like crazy, whatever. So I've been thinking about this whole week, and I found a parishioner nearby, and I called her and I tried to set up an appointment for Friday. This was early this week, maybe Monday or something. It was a struggle to get to her, and then finally on Friday, or finally, I was able to secure an appointment. Now, just last night, Thursday night, she sent me a text saying that she can't see me. The appointment is canceled because she read my intake form. On the intake form, I wrote, among other things, like I wrote all the issues that I have in my body. I tried to be very honest, which I'm trying to be more honest lately. And I also wrote mental illness in a section where you can check off mental illness. And this was all done online. And then I also wrote for emergency contact information. I'm so upset with like emergency contact information. I feel like everybody's always freaked out. Everybody's always like like I don't use health insurance and I never really have, and I don't really ever want to. And I feel like it's a constant struggle to explain to people why I don't use it. And putting down my emergency contact information is like the same thing. It feels the same as wanting health insurance. And so I just put emergency contact God, and as a telephone number I put 701-444-4444, and then down the list it said doctor. Well, I don't have a doctor either, so I put God, 701-444-4444, and I think either because of the mental, well, probably a coupling of those two, the mental illness thing and uh, the contact information for a doctor or an emergency contact probably made her cancel the appointment because she probably thought that I was crazy. So when I got home from work, and it's been a long week, it's the last day of 4 days, and I saw that text message, I kind of just buckled down. I'm gonna check the time here. 4 minutes. Okay, I'll try to be as quick as I can. I buckled down, started crying, tried to get into my emotions, prayed, prayed, prayed. I feel like in the last several weeks, I have not gotten anywhere. I don't feel like I've gotten any closer to God, or I feel like there's a lot of fear and a lot of doubt as to whether God exists within me, and I'm really struggling with that, and I hate it. And I wish there was a God, but I don't feel that I can firmly say to people who are atheists and others that there is a God. I don't feel that I know 100%. And so I've been dealing with all of that and not really getting anywhere. And then, and like every night when I'm in in the dark, I am just horrified. I'm terrified that someone's gonna get me, and I hate that too. Like being afraid every night, looking, w- opening my eyes and expecting to see somebody, and there being no one there, looking for someone, in the dark, and there being no one there. And anyway, so this is what happened in a dream. So I finally managed to get to bed. Kind of a crazy night. Watched YouTube videos until 2 a.m. and thinking about this woman who canceled my appointment because I'm crazy. And so I start, I find myself in this metropolis, kind of like Fargo. There were some places in this metropolis very similar to Fargo. And for some reason, I decided to put on an act where this very scary fellow, like I pretend I'm this very scary fellow and very tall, slim, kind of like Slender Man, if you've ever seen that, and maybe a top hat too, like the Babadook. And so I try to put on this act to make money to keep to survive in this place, and then I enlist the help of a friend to also do a kind of act, and he takes one part of the one block somewhere, and I take another block, and like for a long period we try to put on this act, but nobody's interested, and I don't manage to summon this creature, I guess. And then we find a place together, he and I, and we take in two very small children to help to stay with us in our apartment to, I guess, pad the rent or something. Um, and like I go on for days. It feels like days. I don't know how that works, but it felt like it was days, and kept trying to, do the act, and nothing is happening, and it just goes on and on and on, and like a lot of other things come up for me, and like when the two children move into my apartment with my other friend, like where they have to sleep in a small apartment is a question, and what the sleeping arrangements are, and I want the place to be tidy. Like I've been tidying up my room a lot this week, and I wonder if it's kind of obsessive to do that, and um, like I've been wondering about how I treat people and how I affect people, and whether I'm kind of controlling. And so I in the dream I had this desire to tell everybody, make sure that you keep everything clean. I don't want to have to step on anything that gets in my way. That's your responsibility. You got to take care of it. And struggling to know when I'm being controlling and when I'm being firm and loving, I guess. Um, Dealing with that, dealing with other things, and then just thinking like, why could I never summon that creature through the whole dream? And then at the end of the dream, well, I didn't know it was the end of the dream at that point, but um, there was a moment in the dream where I was like really questioning all of these things, uh, and then I started thinking about the woman that canceled my massage appointment in my dream. And I was like, yeah, that's really stupid. That really sucks. And remember, before I went to bed tonight, it's 7 a.m. now. I just woke up really, and before I went to bed, I was struggling with like what are the emotions that you have to feel that brings you higher? And I was thinking like, as regards someone canceling my appointment and thinking I'm crazy. I'm so afraid of someone thinking I'm crazy. I'm so afraid of the stigma of bipolar disorder. I've been struggling for a long time, wondering what bipolar disorder is. Ever since finding the divine truth, I believe that it's spirits. And I've also had to contend with the fact that probably most of my life I've been or for a lot of my life, I've had, heavy spirit influence, and I'm very wishy-washy. I go one way, I go the other, and and having spirit overcloaked or spirit possession. I I can recall times, I've been recalling times when I've had spirit possession, and it kind of freaks me out. But so dealing with that issue too. I'm gonna check the time. 10 minutes. I got only 5 minutes left. So comes to be later in the dream, and I'm just thinking about this woman, and did I ever get anywhere thinking about how I'm afraid people think I'm crazy, and do I do the wrong thing, and do I tell the truth too much, and you know talk about what's really going on inside of me? And if I do that, then people stay away, and people are afraid, and I don't want to like I don't want to be looked at like a crazy person. And Im- immediately after that, like this is like really frightening. I'm starting to get goosebumps right now, but um I, immediately that after that I thought about this creature that I was trying to summon. And I was in the apartment this time, and there across the way there was a mirror, and I realized I was looking in the mirror, and there were some other people around me. There were the two children that were staying with us and my friend. And this is like really scary to even say. And I'm like looking around because I'm really afraid that there's bad people around me. There may be maybe bad spirits that I can't even see. Um, and suddenly, as I'm looking into the mirror, immediately after thinking about this woman that canceled the massage, like the lights begin to dim, and this creature emerges from out of my skull. And like it's hard to say if like he appeared, or if he emerged out of me, or if he was me, or if it's someone else. But that's all I can say. He emerged above my skull, and I was watching it happen, and I was like, oh, that's probably my first thought was, oh, that's so funny. Like I've been trying to summon this creature this whole time to put on an act, and now finally, like after the whole dream, it felt like after a long period, now it's happening. Anyway, but as it happened, there was so much fear, and I felt like I was being taken control of, and my whole body began to pulsate, and my head, especially my cranium, my skull, began to like um be moved electrically, like there was this electrical vibration moving in my skull. And I had had that one time before, 2 or 3 years ago, when I went to this meditation thing where we were supposed to connect with the Maitreya, which is a messiah for a lot of people. And when I went to that meditation thing, I went home that night and I had a dream, and I was visiting this person doing a seance. And as I visited the person doing a seance, um, the person looked up at me during the middle of the seance, and then suddenly my head began vibrating, and like there was this like light that shot through my ears, or it was between my ears, and it was like vibrating and pulsing, this beam of light energy, and it's like nothing I've ever experienced, and it was so real. And I told my friend the next day that something major had happened, and I felt that again last night, where this monster kind of really freaky character emerged from out of me, or in some capacity emerged from me. And it was so weird that it was the end of the dream, but it was so scary. I was just taken to pieces, and I thought, I'm being controlled, I'm being um taken over now. That's what it felt. That's what I thought was happening. I didn't want to be taken over. And I mean, it's funny that the whole time I was trying to put on an act to do that, but at that point I was really fighting being taken over. Um, and I started calling to God. I started praying to God, and I started thinking about Jesus, who said that there are a lot of spirits in hell that are praying to God, God, please help me, God, please help me. And they're still in hell. So it doesn't always work to pray to God. It's like, I don't know what's going to happen. How can I get out of this? I don't know how to get out of this. And um, shortly thereafter, I woke up, and I don't know what else to say. I still have my doubts about God. I still want to know God as a real thing. I want to know if it is the truth or not, to reality that God exists, that there is a creator above us that created all of us. I, I, I need to know that. And I feel like I can't function. I feel like I can't pray properly without absolutely knowing that. Anything that I need to do to remove the doubt from me that there is a God, I need to do. I need to remove that doubt from me. But I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. And I try to pray and I try to make some time. Last night when I came home, I made some time to pray, and I thought, I'm going to be here for a while. I'm going to be here till I get to bed, and I'm going to pray and pray and pray. And after like 20 minutes, I went to my computer and watched YouTube videos and sunk into that addiction for like an hour and a half. Just went, time went right away. So I feel like I don't know if I'm getting anywhere at all in this process of trying ostensibly to get on the divine love path. And I just feel, and now it's payday, and I'm gonna go eat a bunch of food, which is my other another of my addictions, physical addiction. And anyway, this probably won't help anyone, but maybe it'll help me a few years down the road if I get anywhere, hopefully, to see what it was like at that point, and maybe I'll have more of an understanding of the things that have been going on. So I hope this has been somehow helpful to you. I'm sorry that I'm not in a state where I can be very helpful to anyone.